L'Jarius Sneed to the Colts has been heating up after a very close source to the Colts had said that the deal was practically done already. L'Jarius Sneed was recently franchise tagged by the Chiefs and is one of, if not the best corner in the league at the moment, so a bunch of teams are after him. But it was reported that the Colts had practically had the deal already done and just had to come to terms with contract agreements. But just a few days later, the morning that I'm recording this, Adam Schefter reported that the Colts and Chiefs have not been in any trade conversations at all. But there are plenty of teams interested in Sneed, but the Chiefs seem like they aren't willing to give him up for anything less than the first rounder, which makes sense. But as each day goes on, I believe that he will end up staying in Kansas City. Him and his agents have said they want a long-term contract for him, but if they aren't able to come to terms with that this offseason, I see him playing under the tag and having them come back to it next offseason. But the problem with that is the Chiefs have a lot of upcoming free agents next offseason, so it isn't even for sure they could even give him the long-term contract that he's deserving of. But at least he should hopefully be able to go for this three-peat with the Chiefs and play this next season. I just think that every day that goes by and not a deal is done raises the chances of him staying, since a deal for him probably would have already been done by now. And this whole situation with the Colts is so annoying because there were all these sources saying they were certain that this was happening, and Adam Schefter, the top source, saying it has not been in talks, it is not happening. This just goes to show you got to be very careful who you're trusting, where you're getting your information from. I personally think he's now going to stay in Kansas City. When Mahomes restructured his contract and ended up restructuring it again to free up like $6 million or so, they ended up re-signing Hollywood Brown for $11 million. L'Jarius Sneed's franchise tag is $19 million. The Chiefs have re-signed a lot of the core pieces already, like Drew Tranquil, Chris Jones, Mike Dana, a bunch of guys from this defense they have brought back. So bringing back Sneed would be the best thing for this Chiefs defense to have done this offseason, because yeah, they've done it before with Chardavius Ward and let him walk, and they got Sneed out of it in the draft, and they have Trent McDuffie as well. But when you lose a guy like Sneed, getting the talent like that back is just not the easiest. The Chiefs draft really well, fortunately, and could scout out for a next cornerback like him, and could definitely get one up like that. But Sneed is such a physical cornerback, and he puts pressure on every team's best receiver. Having him and Trent McDuffie together is so important for this Chiefs three-peat run. If the Chiefs are able to bring him back, that's what they need to do. They need to not worry about a trade. They need to focus on bringing him back, even just for this year. If they can have him this year on this three-peat run, that would help them out a ton. He is a huge part of this defense. We saw him make huge play after play this whole entire playoff and this whole entire season. L'Jarius Sneed going anywhere doesn't make sense if it's not for a first rounder for the Chiefs. And I don't think he just won't play under the tag. I know we saw a lot with T. Higgins saying he won't play under the tag. I believe he's going to play under his tag as well and not go anywhere. But the whole Sneed situation is now dragging out longer and longer, which I think is a good thing. The longer it drags out, the more of a deal that probably won't happen. I think L'Jarius Sneed has a very high chance of playing in Kansas City. With Adam Schefter confirming that they're not in talks and that he doesn't know of a lot of other teams in talks that are that close to getting a deal done, I think he'll just play under the tag. Sneed even said himself that he wants to stay in Kansas City and play next year and go for this three-peat. And the Chiefs, it just doesn't make sense if they're not getting at least a first-round pick. I mean, or even multiple draft picks. Sneed is a great player, like I've said. Sneed had an all-pro year. Even though he didn't get the all-pro and Trent McDuffie did, he still did, and there's the best cornerback duo in the league. When you have a super young and talented cornerback duo like that, you don't want to break them up. It's hard to come across two guys like that in the draft together on your team. Sneed guarded every team's top #1 receiver and shut down everybody. He didn't allow a touchdown on 90 targets, which hasn't been done since 2018 or 2016 Stephon Gilmore, whenever he won his Defensive Player of the Year. I think it was 2018. Might have been 2016. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But Sneed is a game changer when it comes to how he plays the game of football. Having him on your defense is huge, especially when it comes to the playoffs. His physical play style can shut down any team's top receiver, like I've been saying. We saw this with Tyreek Hill. He completely shut down Tyreek Hill. After Tyreek Hill was talking so much trash and everybody said the Dolphins were going to come in there and upset the Chiefs. And then the Bills were supposed to be the Chiefs. And then the Ravens were supposed to be the Chiefs. And then the 49ers were. But that defense showed why you can never count them out. And L'Jarius Sneed was a huge part of that. If they can't get a long-term contract agreement done, that's understandable, since the Chiefs have to be smart with their money with the upcoming free agents that they have this next upcoming offseason. But at least get a deal done so he can play this season under the tag. It's completely doable for Kansas City. Just L'Jarius Sneed and his team have to come to agreements on it, and the Chiefs have to come up with a contract for him. You can't have this dragging out any more longer though. Even though it's good, since other teams won't be making deals for him, you still want a contract done, especially when training camp starts. You want him to be available for that. But bringing Sneed back to this defense is a huge part, especially since they've been able to get guys like Marquise Brown on the offense and Irv Smith Jr. They're adding more depth to this offense and giving Mahomes more weapons, so you want to keep this defense intact and keep them hungry for another championship. They had an outstanding year last year and were the league's youngest defense in the entire league. They went 20 out of 21 games, not allowing more than 28 points, which has never been done. This defense is in good hands and has a bright bright future, and they've been doing the right things by bringing back the core pieces, but one of those core pieces that they need to bring back is Sneed. Even if it's just for 1 year, like I said, he just needs to be a part of this three-peat run this season. He'd be a huge help to this team as a whole. Let me know where you think he will end up going. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, put the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything, and I'll see you in the next one.